about words from the book of Proverbs. Now, some of you would know that an etymologist is someone who studies the history of words. You know that, yeah. So, and a lexicographer, you guys, it's really cool. They're the people that write dictionaries. Yeah. Etymologist and lexicographer. I reckon one of the most famous modern etymologists in the world would have to be Susie Dent, made famous from the British show Countdown. And she has a list of Old English words that have gone out of fashion, but she thinks we should revive them. So let's do that now. Firstly, philodox. You might know of philodox. It is someone who is entirely and exclusively in love with their own opinions. That's a philodox. This next one I can relate to very deeply. Scurryfunge, isn't it a great word? Scurryfunge. Scurryfunge means madly rushing around the house in a frenzied attempt to tidy up, like just before visitors arrive. Maybe you scurryfunge often. You might be sitting there thinking, wow, Karla is a real ultra-crepidarian. Such an ultra-crepidarian. That means someone who delivers their opinion on subjects they know nothing whatsoever about. Ultra-crepidarian. Or you might be thinking that so far this talk is flippicanorious. Flippicanorious. That is an old but useful word for something blooming impressive. And lastly, I can't help but notice that some of you are a little bit nod-crafty. Where are we? Nod-crafty from the 1600s. Nod-crafty means a person that nods along with an air of great wisdom when they actually stop listening.
How do you know?
Howard's nod-crafty. Nod-crafty. Yeah, words are powerful. They have power to make us laugh or cry. In 2014, the Huffington Post released an article on the power of the spoken word. And the writer tells us that words are singularly the most powerful force available to humanity. That's a big call to make, isn't it? Words can make us laugh or cry. The writer says words have energy and power with the ability to help or heal, to hinder, to harm, to humiliate, and to humble. It makes me wonder if the writer of this article has actually read the book of Proverbs, because Proverbs has an awful lot to say on the topic of words. On their power to heal, the writer says this: gracious words are a honeycomb. Contained within them are the sweetness to our soul and healing to our very bones. It's true, isn't it? You could be having the most awful day ever, but a kind word at just the right moment has the power to turn it all around. Words have the power to heal. It says anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up. But remember that saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me? It's rubbish, isn't it? It's utter rubbish. Words have immense power to harm, incredible power to hurt. I'm certain that everyone sitting here at some point or another has possibly been hurt by someone's words. Or maybe you were the one that said them. Nobody likes you. You're just a horrible person. You're just ugly. You're fat. You're stupid. You're annoying, and I don't want to hang around with you anymore. You idiot. If only you were more like... Do you feel a bit uncomfortable as I say those words? I feel uncomfortable saying them. Indeed, words have tremendous power to harm, sometimes for an entire lifetime. It can cause people to put up guards, to isolate themselves, to avoid making new friends just in case someone hurts you, to doubt who you are, and to worry about what others really think of you. Proverbs 12:18 says, "The words of the wicked pierce like swords, straight to the heart. The words of the wicked lie in wait for blood, and a harsh word stirs up anger." Yes, words are powerful, and the words we use matter. If you're hurting from someone's words, maybe even still, it's painful, isn't it? I'm sorry. The scars run so deep. As God's children, who are dearly, dearly loved, I urge you to find a way to forgive. It's not easy, it's really, really hard. But forgiveness releases us from the bondage of those who have harmed us. And to seek forgiveness is to heal from past regrets and guilt. Know that your life is now hidden in Christ. Know who you are in Christ. You are not someone else's words, harsh words to you. You are who God says you are. He says that you're his precious child. Chosen people. You're holy and you're dearly loved. You who are in Christ, you've been clothed in white. You're a child of the one true King. You are beautiful because he made you. You've been made in the image of Creator God. And when he created the whole world, he said it was good. But not mankind. When he created mankind, he said it is very good. He knew you before the foundations of the earth were laid. And he knit you together in your mother's womb. Do you know that no one can possibly know you as well as God knows you? He knew you before you were born. He knows your hopes and your dreams. He knows your fears and your insecurities. He knows your heart. And knowing all of that, he sent his dear Son to die for you so that you could be forgiven and you could be in a right relationship with the God who loves you and who made you. Give it to the Lord today. Whatever you're hurting from, whatever words have cut you deep, give it to him. He is big enough to shoulder that burden and to take on your pain. Halfway through that verse, bear with each other and forgive one another. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. We don't belong to this world, so we live in contrast to this world, don't we? The words of the wicked and the unwise, they're eventually going to bring ruin on themselves. From the reading that Anna gave to us, Proverbs 18, it says this: "The lips of fools bring them strife, and their mouths invite a beating. The mouths of fools are their undoing, and their lips are a snare to their very lives. Let God be the judge." But you know, Proverbs has a lot to say, not just on the words we use, but how they're used. The context in which they're used. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels. They go down to the inmost parts. Choice morsels. Tidbits. They never really satisfy us. They're only little bits. They leave us wanting more. And in this world, currently, in the age of social media, is gossip really a thing when everything is laid out there for all to see? Proverbs says yes. Gossip hurts people, and it hurts us. A perverse person stirs up conflict, and a gossip separates close friends, says Proverbs 16:28. Maybe this is something you've actually witnessed, or something you've experienced for yourself. A gossip betrays a confidence. avoid anyone who talks too much. It's a bit convicting, isn't it? So if we're in Christ, how are we to respond to gossip? Well, firstly, we're to be a confidant. Because a gossip is someone who betrays confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret. We're to be peacemakers. Without wood, a fire goes out. Without a gossip, a quarrel dies down. Friends, let's not heap wood on the fire of a quarrel. Let's be the peacemakers. Proverbs even has something to say on the topic of sarcasm. I know this one's going to cut deep for a few of us, being Australians and all. It says, like a maniac shooting flaming arrows of death is one who deceives their neighbour and then says, I was only joking. A maniac shooting flaming arrows of death? That's a bit harsh, isn't it? You know, in young life, we meet a lot of kids who don't understand sarcasm. And when it's used, it just leaves them feeling hurt and confused. Anyone who's ever been a victim of psychological abuse will never know where they stand with someone who uses sarcasm. Anyone with autism spectrum disorder will take literally anything that is said in sarcasm. I know it's the Aussie way. It really is. But as people who are in Christ, we're to be careful how we use our words. Let our words be full of grace, says the Apostle Paul. Colossians 4:6 says, let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you know how you ought to answer each person. Let's use our words with restraint and discernment. Proverbs 17. I told you it's got a lot to say on words. The one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even-tempered. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. Even a fool is thought to be wise if he just keeps his mouth shut. So how do we tame this tongue? If it has so much power to harm, how do we tame it? If you've got a Bible and you want to follow along, open to James chapter 3. It's towards the end of the New Testament there. James chapter 3, verses 3 to 7. It says this. When we put bits into the mouths of horses to make them obey us, we can turn the whole animal. Or take ships as an example. Although they are large and are driven by strong winds, they are steered by a very small rudder wherever the pilot wants to go. Likewise, the tongue is a small part of the body, but it makes great boasts. Consider what a great forest is set on fire by a small spark. That's a timely word. The tongue also is a fire, a world of evil among all the parts of the body. It corrupts the whole body and sets the whole course of one's life on fire, and is itself set on fire by hell. All kinds of animals, birds, reptiles, sea creatures are being tamed and have been tamed by mankind. But no human being can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil, full of deadly poison. The tongue is such a small part of the body, isn't it? A bit like a bit in a horse's mouth. Karen knows all about bits and horses, don't she? How big is a bit? About a handspan, maybe? Yeah, about that. Yet it can turn the whole beast. And I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise ship or have you seen those massive cruise ships docked in Sydney Harbour? They're enormous. You've been on a cruise, I know. Those whole things are turned by a relatively small rudder in comparison to the size of the ship. So it is with the tongue. It can change the course of our entire life. This can't be. This can't be who we are. We're God's people. We need to tame the tongue. Except, James said, no human being can tame the tongue. No one. It's a restless evil, full of deadly poison. Not one, no one. So what is the writer of the Proverbs been talking all this time about words and how we use them when no human being can tame the tongue? Well, if we think the issue is with our words and our tongue, we are sorely mistaken. The issue's with our heart. Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. All our words, all our actions are flowing from our heart. Jesus himself had this to say to the Pharisees, and I think it's sage words for us also. He said, make a tree good, and its fruit will be good. Make a tree bad, and its fruit will be bad. Because a tree is recognised by its fruit. You brood of vipers, how are you who are evil say anything good? For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. That's from Matthew 12. So what then is required to tame the tongue? It's not a tongue transplant, is it? It's a heart transplant. Everything we do is coming from our heart. But ever since the fall, our hearts are no longer naturally inclined toward God, rather to ourselves. We need a new heart. God's promise to the prophet Ezekiel was this: I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. God, in his mercy, sent Jesus, that through his life and his death and his resurrection, we could have new life, a transformed heart. It is through Jesus, the Word, that appeared and became flesh, that we take on his grace and his truth. John 1:14 says this: the Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. It's only by God's grace, through Christ, that we gain a heart of flesh, from which living waters flow as we speak life and truth and light. We need a healthy heart check. Examine what's going on in our hearts, because everything we're saying is coming from there. Jesus said, whoever believes in me, as the scripture has said, out of his heart will flow rivers of living waters. If you believe in Jesus, out of your heart will flow rivers of living water. So have we submitted our lives to Christ? Are we walking in step with the Holy Spirit? Are we allowing him to transform our lives by living in submission to him? Perhaps in the next week or so, you could think of really practical, solid ways of how you use your words. Like what floods your Facebook page? Maybe a timely word of encouragement to a friend. Maybe that message to someone you know is just really struggling. Maybe instead of gossip, we pass on scripture. Think of opportunities where your words can build up rather than tear down. How your words might inspire people and point the way to Jesus. How your words might heal people and give life itself through the Word who became flesh. Or perhaps it's a season to practice restraint. Think before we speak. use words that are full of grace and seasoned with salt. Saying number 14 from Proverbs 23. My son, if your heart is wise, then my heart will be glad indeed. My inmost being will rejoice when your lips speak what is right. Is your heart wise? Then let us speak what is right. I'm going to pray.